Well, it's time to break the Fairmont M9 out of its winter hibernation, since I've got about 150 miles of running scheduled for next week on 2 different excursions, and the guests have already been invited, so it's time to do a service and inspection on this, grease everything that needs greased, and see if there's any loose bolts that need tightened, things of that nature. So I'll take you along and see what we find. You get the water hopper drain plug in. The one I use happens to be brass, and I put a heavy grease on the threads, and it kind of works as for one, an anti-seize, and two, even though brass doesn't have a big corrosion issue, works as an anti-seize and somewhat as a Teflon combined too. Well, this thing's kind of tricky to get in there around the axle. There we go. Tighten that up. Doesn't need to be overkill, just enough to keep it from vibrating out of there. Always gotta drop tools, that's essential. That'll do it, that's snug. And we'll check the spark plug while we're up here too. There it goes. That ain't bad for a two-stroke. You can still see some white on the insulator there. Ground strap's clean. I don't think I'm going to touch that. I'm just going to leave it as is. I have extra spark plugs in the toolboxes too if they're needed. This plug's a Champion D16. I'd like to get some auto lights or NGK plugs for it. Not overly tight. Get a little oil seepage here. Looks like I could benefit from a new head gasket, but I've definitely seen worse. It'll be okay for now. The water system at our house is all rainwater for laundry and dishes, showers, things of that nature. We do have a well for drinking, but the nice side of that is for putting water in these water hoppers and condensers. This water does not have loaded with minerals and calcium and things of that nature that will form deposits inside of the condenser and clog it up. So this rainwater is fantastic for use in these water hoppers. That is, as long as the pH is balanced and it's not too acidic, but I've never had a problem. Just so happens that on this ROC engine it holds about 6 quarts of water, and this kitty litter jug is exactly 6 quarts. Does not need to be overflowing full, but as long as there's water up in the bottom of the filler neck here, it should be good to go. Now it is just straight water, not antifreeze. Antifreeze, I believe, actually raises the boiling point of the water, and you don't want that for this, because the way that it cools off, the steam rises up into the condenser where it condenses, cools off, condenses, and falls back into the hopper. So yeah, I just run straight water in these. Alright, battery's in. Let's just make sure everything is working as it should. Ignition's on, brake is set, so the brake light should be on, and it is. Let's make sure the brake light goes off, and it does. Alright, we'll test the horn. Watch your ears. Good. Lights, got a headlight, I can see it. And my 2 tail lights. Good to go. Alright, let's get ready for a start here. So, retard the timing just a little bit. We'll put the throttle at about 1/3. Open up the needle, there's 1 turn, there's a turn and a half. We'll leave the ignition off for now, do a couple of prime strokes, but first, I do need to turn the gas on. To keep the hand crank on the driver's side, Again, ignition off, throttle about a third, needle is open. Let's give it 3 turns before we turn the ignition on. I think that was 3. Alright, ignition on. Let's see what she does. Not bad, 2 turns once the ignition is turned on. I adjusted the needle real quick there. Still warming up, so it's not perfectly happy yet. A little cardboard down so it doesn't blow 2 cycle oil all over the driveway. Cut the throttle back a little, or actually it wanted it a little bit more open. Just adjusting the needle to where it's happy. When you lift up on this, it's choke. I've only had to use the choke on this car when it's below freezing. Just a little bit of smoke, that's what you want. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit and get happy, and I'll bring you back. Well, it's warmed up, it's running great. Now I just get to go around and make sure nothing's falling apart, there's no loose wheels. The engine mounting bolts are still tight, and things of that nature. Hit it with a round of grease. All of the axles have a bearing at the ends of them. And the center axle is split, works like a differential, so that differential needs grease, and it has that so when you turn around the front 2 wheels can rotate independently for when you're turning around on a hard surface like this concrete or asphalt. This car is so light, this car is under 500 pounds, so it doesn't take a whole lot to pull the handles, pick an end up and turn it around. Hopefully I'll do a demonstration on that. Something else I got to look through is make sure the first aid kit, everything in there is to date and is not going to expire this summer. It's not a massive or crazy first aid kit, but you know, everything in it I know how to use. It's not just, you know, a massive first aid kit with a bunch of stuff in it that I'd have no idea what I'm doing with. But I suppose I'm good up to about a tourniquet and some basic medicine and bandages, that type of stuff. Once upon a time I did a class on doing stitches. If I absolutely had to, I suppose I probably could in an emergency situation. But we're going to try to avoid that. Don't mind the trash can over there. I had to have something to put the camera on. Give it a little bit of throttle here. Start with a little bit more timing and a touch of throttle, and it wakes right up. Solid running car, be a good year. Expect to see some videos out from it. Thanks for watching.